let's move on to a different study. It's also about how we all look. It's called the cheerleader effect.
Oh my gosh.
Have you guys heard about this effect?
Yeah.
Anyone? So basically, it's saying that when us girls go out to a bar, it's a good dating strategy to go in a group because, you know, and especially if you're out with, like, I guess, pretty girls. I think they're calling it the bridesmaid effect, that you need a few wing women in order to invite the men to come over to you, and it's like less threatening.
First of all, I want to change it to the like Fleetweed effect because that feels less patriarchal. Because on Fleetweed, because whenever the guys come in, we didn't have Fleetweed because of sequestration. But when Fleet Week happens in New York, all the sailors come in and they're in their sailor outfits, and it's like they look so much hotter in the outfits and like groups, like so much hotter. And so I would love to take it away from, I know we're basically like, or let's objectify men and not objectify women, but it's like, but I'd like to change it to the Fleet Week effect instead of like the, you know, cheerleader effect, first of all. And you know, it's this whole thing of like, because I mean, for me, it's like, again, it's like women are, and being a feminist, it's like calling it the cheerleader effect. Women are judged by how we look, and we have to associate ourselves in groups. And it becomes this thing of like, you know, calling it the cheerleader effect feels like it's about women needing to sort of like look a certain way to be desirable and to, you know, get picked up. It's disturbing.
Yeah. I actually like to go drinking with, I'm like totally the bride to the bridesmaids. Like, I surround myself with basically trolls. I like to go out. No, I'm kidding. I have beautiful. I have beautiful friends.
Do they appreciate this? Do they know?
No, no, I'm kidding, obviously. But all I'm saying is that I find if I go out with, you know, some girls, because I'm very tall, you know what I mean? I go out full makeup, you know, I turn the whole thing out. I can usually then, because my confidence is up, you know what I mean? But I could see it also, now I'm like offended when like my pretty friends want to go out with me. I'm like, what the hell are you trying to say? I'm going to be totally on them. Chelsea, have you had this experience where you've gone out with a group of girls and like you find that the men are just, they want to get in there more because you're with like some of your pretty friends?
Yeah, although I am with you in a certain capacity. Like, I mean, you don't want them to be trolls, as you said, but sometimes you go out with like the girls that are really like have it really, really together, and you just sort of. The worst is when you take pictures with them, though, because like everyone looks glamorous, and then you look sweaty or it's a bad angle. So I feel like it works not necessarily because you look prettier, but because it's just so much more inviting to have so many people to choose from.
Well, by the way, this is why I learned how to use Photoshop, because in all of those pictures, I Photoshop myself. It's like that video last week that went viral of the girl. By the end of it, I'm like Giselle Bundchen at birth. Like, I look skinny, I look fresh-faced, and beautiful. Okay.
The piece about options that makes a lot of sense. I remember I was out with a girlfriend of mine, and this guy comes up, he runs up to us, and then he's like hitting on my girlfriend, and she's like, oh, sorry, I have a boyfriend. And then he turns to me, he's like, how about you?
No.
So it's really just about options.
I love that. Okay, let's move on. By the way, are we all drinking later? Right? I say we all.
Let's all
see how good we can do tonight. Okay, there is a piece in the Huffington Post by blogger Seth Adam Smith, wonderful name, about people missing the whole point of marriage. And this was like this big viral article. He was saying that basically when you get marriage, a lot of people when they marry, they see it about themselves. But really the only way that you're going to make the marriage work is if you love the other person. It's like all about the other person. And if you're a selfish person, maybe you shouldn't get married. I guess this is a great excuse that I'll use because I'm single. I'm like, I'm just too selfish to get married, as I'm like crying at Kleinfeld's. But what do you guys think? Should selfish people not get married? Do they even know they're selfish? Like, what do we do with this information? Laverne, you take this one first.
First of all, I'm really excited about the folks in Illinois, the gay folks in Illinois who can now get married. So, you know, for me, whenever people start talking about marriage, I'm just like, I need a third date, first of all, before I can even think about getting married. Like, can I make it to 3 dates with the guy? Like, that's a big deal. You know, I think it should be about love, and really it should be about the other person. As I get older and as I date more, I learn that that really does have to be about this person who's going to treat me the right way, and who's going to be respectful, and who's going to be supportive, and the person whose work and life and career that I want to support. So it is about the other person. And I think like so often when I've wanted a boyfriend or had fantasies about getting married, it's about what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing instead of what I think I really want. And I think that for a lot of folks, the marriage thing, some folks have been programmed to think I should get married, and it means this, and it means I'm valuable, or if I want to have kids. And honestly, I don't even know if marriage is necessary. I think if you want to do it, then great, but marriage feels like an antiquated institution.
Totally. Chelsea, I want to ask you, and again, this is between us as friends, do you know any couples where, this is proven to be either true or false, I guess? Like, do you have maybe selfish friends secretly and the marriage is great, or it's not working? Any examples?
I think that Laverne is absolutely right in the sense that like there are a lot of people who feel like they should get married. I feel like I'm just now starting to enter in the phase where the Facebook marriages, like one after another. There's like people engaged and married every weekend, and you don't know them. You can't say that their relationship is for the wrong reasons. But I do think that like, for example, like you will have like the Facebook photos of the actual engagement moment. Like someone was there like taking a picture of a person on a bended knee with like, and then there's like 700 photos from the ceremony, and you sort of wonder when you look at that, you're like, is it really this, like how much of this is based on other people's approval? And I think that is a really selfish part of it. Like the idea that it's not just the fact that you're doing something great with another person and their family, it's also that you get to look great and you get to fit into a role and you get people showering you with affection. And I think that's the part that's like, especially with social media, I think it's really, really tempting.